Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning. Distinguished panelists, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to each and everyone to the Good Governance Conference GGC 2025 with the theme of Advancing Countries' Image Through Governance Reforms, Policy, Performance, People. Three highlights of this conference: policy, effectiveness, country's performance, and benefit to people are key towards achieving successful governance reforms which have consistently been the priority of the government, and this requires a whole-of-nation approach. Ladies and gentlemen, on 11 February 2025, Transparency International had announced Malaysia's performance in Corruption Perception Index (CPI) for the year 2024. With the CPI score of 50 and the 57th rank out of 180 countries, Malaysia's performance in CPI remained consistent from last year CPI 2023. While Malaysia maintained its score and ranking, it is imperative for Malaysia to keep our long-term vision in focus that is positioning Malaysia among the top 25 countries globally by 2033, which is in line with the national target outlined in the midterm review of 12 Malaysia Plan, 12 MP. Achieving this goal requires Malaysia to reach a score of 68 to 70 points, thus aiming for a steady annual progress of at least 2 points. This long-term aspiration and journey demand not only strategic and bold governance reforms, but this journey requires shared commitment and a whole-of-nation approach. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, while TI announced the CPI results, they also raised concern on the devastating effect of global corruption on the fight against climate crisis. This concern is genuinely valid. In a publication written by UNODC, OECD, and World Bank for the G20 Anti-Corruption Working Group on the impact of corruption on sustainable development, corruption impacts are beyond climate change. Corruption affects biodiversity loss, pollution, undermine access to better healthcare, education and justice system, weaken the quality of public investment resulting in poor public infrastructure, and contribute to erosion of public trust. This is where perception takes place in contributing to CPI performance for every country. The United Nations Conference on Trade and Development World Investment Report 2023 reveals a widening annual investment deficit at about USD 4 trillion per year that developing countries face as they work to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. Corruption poses a critical barrier to address the UN SDG 3 pillars, that is planet, people, prosperity, and conversely affects triple planetary crises, which are climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution, hence fundamentally threatens achieving the SDG by 2030. The profound effect of corruption in the near and long term are no longer in question. The only question is how we are choosing a response and take action. Ladies and gentlemen, in May 2024, the government established a special task force on CPI led by Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Syamsul Azri bin Abu Bakar, the Chief Secretary to the government, with a mandate to provide strategic recommendation to improve Malaysia's CPI. This task force comprises various ministries and government agencies as well as experts with significant experience in this field. The CPI Special Task Force is further supported by the establishment of 6 focus groups, with each dedicated to relevant CPI survey sectors, that is enforcement, legislation, public fund management, business competitiveness, investment and strategic communication, where all 6 FG are responsible to analyze the gap and recommend improvement to the CPI Special Task Force. The FGs also play a role in leading stakeholder engagement under their respective clusters. For this reason, the FGs are at liberty to determine members under their respective FGs, including non-governmental organization, civil society organization, chambers of commerce, business or investment entities, and so on, in line with the aspiration of a whole-of-nation approach, where the entire machinery of government, agencies, industries, and society are mobilized towards achieving the country's best CPI position. The world in the next decades would be significantly different from today. The technology abuse, such as cyber threat, can create a new breed of corruption. In this regard, Malaysia needs to strengthen cooperation with various stakeholders, including business and corporate entities, investors, traders, academicians, NGOs, and CSOs towards strengthening good governance of this nation and the fight against corruption. Therefore, GGC 2025 welcome everyone on board. It is hoped that through the insights shared by our esteemed panelists, we will gain a deeper understanding of the government's effort and initiative in promoting good governance and combating corruption. With that, we wish each of us will find today's conference enriching and contribute to the wider discourse on our country and future of our economy that will strengthen the foundations of our economy and propel Malaysia forward. Thank you and have a productive conference. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.